It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do. But the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take.
Ka-ching!
Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Up against it on a Monday. We try and figure it out with you on Game Time Decisions. Kevin Walsh right here on SportsGrid for the next 90 minutes as we dive into this slate, which features game number 3 of the Stanley Cup Final, evened up at a game apiece between Edmonton and Florida. Undoubtedly, our main event tonight, coming off of game number 2 in the NBA Finals, where the Thunder evened that series up and avoided the 2-0 deficit that the Indiana Pacers had actually been able to put on each of their first 3 opponents in this postseason. Before we get to our main event, I did want to just deliver the people some best bets, some moonshots, some action that begins within the next 10 minutes. The baseball board has quite a bit it is offering. We go best bet style for myself. Let's go Phillies money line. -126 with Zach Wheeler on the mound. At home, looking to stop this losing streak with Wheeler in a clear and obvious bounce-back spot where he gave up 5 or 6 earned, in his most recent outing to the Atlanta Braves. Love it. Phil's money line, it's my best bet. Nerfy, Marlins Pirates. You might have to wait a little bit extra. Some weather is right now going to delay the start of that baseball game, but when it gets underway, hopefully it is a slow start. That's what Kofsky's going with. Yarnell, Padre team total over the 3.5, looking to attack Dustin May. Nick Pavetta's got the baseball in that one. I'm a Padres money line better tonight at +104. I think Pavetta's the better pitcher. Padres have been so good at home. I actually think they should be favorites in that game. And then Roman Anthony Day celebrated appropriately on this show. You had to believe it. AJ's in the mix for 2+ hit run RBI. -125 is the price that he got. Certainly want to look around, get the best of that number. But shows the confidence there as one of the best prospects in all of baseball is up to the bigs. And Boston wasted no time getting him into their starting lineup tonight. He'll bat 5th for the Sox. Moonshot Monday, trying to put some sizzles out there for the people. I added Roman Anthony into the mix with Ellie De La Cruz, with Ketel Marte, with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., 2+ hit run RBI for that group of guys. That's +854. You could slap that DK boost on it, get it over 11-1. Kofsky's on the ice tonight, double goal scorer, Reinhart and Kachuk at 7-1. Yarnell's lost Panthers to win the NFC 46-1. All right. And then AJ goes Kikuchi, 8Ks, 3-1. Nice spot for Yusei Kikuchi. And the Angels at home going up against the A's. The A's, I do believe, swapped their probable pitcher. I believe Hallman was not initially supposed to get the ball. Maybe gets the ball. Is he going to get the ball in an opener's role here today? I believe so. So you're going to get Sears. I don't remember who's going to step in. Nevertheless, Angels favored at home, as they should be. Springs is going to get the ball after Holman for that one. Those are best bets. Those are moonshots. Those are sizzles. Let's talk ice tonight. All right, so what we have here is a series that I know for myself going in, I believed Edmonton would win. Getting this back-to-back for these two teams, the way the Oilers were able to crawl out of the 3-0 deficit, force a Game 7, and just the historic nature of Connor McDavid and the fact that he has not yet won a Stanley Cup, it felt like this was going to be their time. Home ice to boot. Again, it felt like it was going to be their time. Edmonton winning game number 1 in overtime was incredible. But it was not lost on me that they had to have a sizable comeback, trailing 3-1 in that game. Then you get to game number 2, and, it's a back-and-forth affair, a 5-goal opening period, but once again, it was Edmonton that needed to hold Florida scoreless in the third period, which they did, win the period to force overtime, but this time they drop it in double overtime. And it does feel like such a huge momentum swing. The Oilers were not going to sweep Florida. I'm not trying to say that. But you are now in a spot with the Oilers where you've had to have the comeback in consecutive third periods. You've now lost home ice. If Florida plays better at home, which many would expect they will, it's a hard sell. I find myself presently interested in when we've talked a lot about the Conn Smythe. And I've mentioned the case for Leon against McDavid. I think it remains a really fascinating one. We haven't gotten into the Florida end of it, which is a similar situation year over year for the Panthers, where it feels like it could be a number of guys that you attempt to make that case on. There was a spot within the last postseason, though, where it did seem like it was going to be Bobrovsky if it was going to be Florida. But those 3 wins for Edmonton, 8-1, 5-3, 5-1, it just wasn't going to land that way. I look at this series now, and yes, you've had 4 goals for Edmonton in each of the first 2 games, but that's getting the series underway. If Bobrovsky plays better these next few games here, if this is 3-1 and both games play towards an under, I tend to think he wins the Conn Smythe. Currently a plus 340 price there. It is a tempting one. I really do believe when we look at this market right now, it's, and I don't know if it's being offered, but like the no on Connor McDavid would almost be an interesting proposition. And it's incredible because you say, this guy won it last year without winning. I think there's a world he could not win it this year in a victory, but also certainly losing confidence that Edmonton is going to win this series. I expect Florida to win tonight, but I'm going to play this one a little SGP style. It's the ice snap. Under 7.5. Over half a goal in the first period. No, this game does not go to overtime. That is a minus 106. With a boost, it's a little bit better. This is so again, I expect this game to be an under. I think it's under the 6.5. I think this game is something like 3-1, 4-1 Florida tonight. I think there still will be scoring early because there's just so much talent on the ice for both of these hockey teams. Someone will score in the opening period. And then I really don't think many will push back here. Like if you bet overtime in game 1 and game 2, sure, keep doing it. Go ahead, have fun, right? You've made your money already for the series. 3 straight overtime games. Feels unlikely to me. I was even interested in looking at puck lines both way. Like this just won't be a 1-goal game. But I really prefer Florida. So you can get a plus 170-ish, I believe it is, on Florida to win this game, minus a goal and a half. A little bit around 3-1 on Florida to win this and cover a 2.5 puck line. A little bit more aggressive, certainly, but I tend to think the Panthers will win at least one game in this series, most likely on their home ice by, again, not blowout fashion, but 3+ goals. I do believe that. So I think it's a Florida spot tonight on the ice. One interesting market that has moved, I just wanted to give people an idea. It's a DK special for this series, and it's, would any of these games have 10 goals? It was -145 earlier today, -165 now towards the no. I think that's the appropriate move. The fact that these first two games have featured 7 goals and then 9 goals, I think as the series carries on, it's going to be unlikely that you see a 10-goal game here. The idea is this much talent on both sides, you get even scoring efforts, so you could get something like a 7-4, but I tend to believe that this series starts to put a couple of unders now under its belt. First one starts tonight, and that's how we're going to start the slate here with you on SportsGrid.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip? Try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky.
Game Time Decisions is live on SportsGrid on this Monday night. We're underway in Cleveland, Cincinnati. I did play Reds money line. I thought it was a nice little spot there. I know Wade Miley got lit up in his first start back, but didn't think Ortiz was in a good spot there. Around a plus 136.8 price or so. A little bit under plus 140, we'll call it, was the number there for Cincinnati. So that's where you can get in the mix. Mention that Phillies money line as the best bet. I really like the spot for Zach Wheeler and the Phils as a whole. Look, I know the Cubs are good. I know they've been good away from Wrigley even this season. But the Phils need to snap a streak here to get the ball to your ace, who's in line for a bounce back. I really like that spot. I thought the Chris Sale price was a little expensive. Turns out people didn't really agree because that number's continue to climb. Minus 155s are up to minus 175s now. We're seeing in the market with Sale on the road against Savali. I played a plus 110 Chris Sale to get the win. If I'm backing Sale here, right? If I'm betting that number, if I'm betting that price on a Braves team that is, by the way, struggling massively. We talked about their climb up to finally get to 500, above 500. And they did it, right? They get to 24 and 24. They got to 23 and 22. And now here they are, 10 games under 500. They've lost 7 consecutive games. They get swept by Arizona. They get swept on the road by the Giants. And now they're here against the Brewers. And it's a Braves team that if they're going to figure this thing out, they need to win a series against the Brewers. And then they get 3 at home against Colorado. That really needs to be a sweep. 3 at home against the Mets. You got to make inroads. You're at home. 3 at Miami. Anything outside of a result in that series. And then we evaluate what that looks like. But their next 4 series, they really need to make a huge dent here. And I'm not looking past the Milwaukee Brewers, but it's a spot where the Braves are going to be favored in at least 2 of these games in this series. This team has to start to stack up the results. One of the big issues is how awful they've been on the road. And that's why I didn't want to lay a minus 155 number. But a plus price where if they're going to get it done, it's through the excellence of Sale. And if the lineup can hit Savali, they should be putting him in a position to win. I thought that was good enough for me. So that was the plus 110 number I played. And then I mentioned it off the top here, I really like the Padres tonight. This is a Dodgers team. Look, super talented, okay? We know that. But the Dodgers are not, based on who is available for them, based on how they're playing, they're not playing like the team we were anticipating, right? They're 3.5 back of the Tigers for the best record in baseball. There are 4 total teams right now that have a better record than the Los Angeles Dodgers. And it's a Dodgers team that we have seen price-wise, they've not been... this is a team that was an underdog in their own building to Will Warren, right? Now, I know they won that game by a gazillion, but I think this is a wrong number. Pivetta is a better pitcher than Dustin May. Pavetta's in a bounce-back spot. Dustin May's been bad outside of Dodger Stadium this season. The Padres are 20-10 at home compared to a 500 record for the Dodgers on the road here. I like San Diego at a plus 104 number. I thought they were absolutely worth the action here tonight. So I decided to make that move and put that play on the board. Just some other thoughts, kind of the baseball card as a whole. Red Sox Rays, it looked like an under 8.5 is now down to flat 8, so I agree with that move. Very interested to see what happens with Roman Anthony up here. You think about the rookies now in the American League that have been called up within the last couple of weeks, and Roman Anthony and Jack Caglione, and what's that going to be for those baseball teams? For Boston, I don't think their present outlook as in this season, right? Boston missing the playoffs is more acceptable than Kansas City. I think that is totally fair to say. But I think for Caglione, who's coming off of his a 4-hit game against the White Sox to close out that series, and for Roman Anthony, the hype on these guys, it does feel that Jacob Wilson and how awesome he has been and how much he's deserving of that number, he could be caught because of when we just think of the perception of a Caglione or a Roman Anthony. Now, those numbers for those two guys were immediately shifted. You can tell that there's a lot of respect being given to those two baseball players because they are the second and third choices. Maybe you could say that's a better reflection of the non-Jacob Wilson American League Rookie of the Years. That's fair as well. But if Roman Anthony can come out and starts really hot, because Caglione threw 6 games, his 6 hits, but 4 of them just came in his most recent game, just the 1 RBI. We haven't seen the home run yet from Jack Caglione. Maybe we see that tomorrow against the Yanks, on a Dinger Tuesday. It's possible. It's not going to be easy going up against a lefty and Max Fried, but it's possible. does Roman Anthony go deep today? I think those are going to be, I think that's going to be a consistent question, right? I'm sure Roman Anthony is going to be a really popular pick tomorrow on a Dinger Tuesday. Palante probably in a bounce-back spot. Don't disagree with St. Louis being favored at home against the Blue Jays team that is playing some good baseball, and Berrios has been pitching well. We've already mentioned the Angels and the A's. Kikuchi for those 8 Ks, getting the moonshot spot there from AJ on the card. And then D-backs Mariners. Merrill Kelly gets the baseball up against Emerson Hancock. Merrill Kelly's kind of settled in here a little bit for this D-backs team. But is it a sell-high spot for Merrill Kelly off of his most recent outing of 7 innings of one-hit baseball with 8 Ks against the Atlanta Braves? I think that's going to be a fun spot to tell tonight. It's a decently sized total when you look at the matchup. Now, again, some of that is Emerson Hancock could certainly be how, but a 9.5 number there when you think about what we just saw from Merrill Kelly, you start to wonder what that matchup's going to look like there. Cubs already on the board. Me, oh my. Zach Wheeler, no. Kyle Tucker goes 387. Full panic button, I think, for the Phillies if you lose this game. I mean, for me, you lose a 6th in a row with Wheeler on the mound at home. It feels like there's a gap building between the Phils and maybe the top of that National League. We'll talk some finals with you next year on SportsGrid.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday night, Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this once? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that roof. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Live with you on a Monday night. It is Game Time Decisions. We've talked a little ice, talked a little Major League Baseball. We'll do more of that in the next hour. Jared Hockman's coming by. We've got Joe Madden stopping by. I believe the Consig will be here as well. So we got plenty to get to on this Monday night. But we do also have some lines out and available, of course, for the NBA Finals, Game 3, which will be Wednesday. Myself and Coach James Young will be back for our bonus 30-minute block. leading you all the way into that game. I'll be here on Wednesday night from 6:30 on, off tomorrow, just to make sure we're giving you everything you can get possibly for the finals coverage. Thunder Pacers was on air actually last night for that game with In-Game Live. Open at 3.5 on FanDuel, up to 5 now. And I think it's one of the really interesting things. But if you got to 3.5, obviously, you're very pleased. You've immediately beaten the number. And you would imagine there's no way it's going to get lower than that, right? To go from 3.5 up to 5, it's not like we're going to close at 3 or 2.5. So you have the best of the number. And it's only Monday, right? Could this thing keep going? Could we get 5.5? Could we get 6? It's possible. My thing is, the Oklahoma City Thunder and how great this team is, I think they're going to win the finals. I am sure almost all of you watching this think they are going to win the finals. They're a total money burner on the road. They haven't covered a game on the road in these playoffs. And you might think, well, that's because, come on. They're laying so many points. Okay, let's go through it. At Memphis, they win by 6. They win by 2. 3 games on the road against Denver. They lose by 9. They win by 5. They lose by 12. 2 games on the road against Minnesota. They lose by 42. And then win by 2. This team has won by more than 5 points on the road once. They won the game by 6, and it was in round 1 against Memphis, and John Morant left in the middle of the game. So I do not know if I will be betting the Pacers as far as the side goes in game 3, because in the way we talk about, hey, if this happens here, I know I'll like this. If the Thunder get their first cover of the playoffs in game 3 on the road, I'll be on the Pacers in game 4. And you'd love to get a better number. I don't know how they're going to zigzag price that one. But if OKC does win by 10, I think that number gets to around 6. I think there's just going to be a lot of Thunder love in the market. I believe that. I believe the Pacers will win one of these next 2 basketball games, based on everything I just said. The only team the Thunder didn't lose a road game to was Memphis in round 1. Hard to believe that the Indiana Pacers are going to, after this postseason, and compared with the Thunder's postseason, not win a home game here. I think one of the very interesting wrinkles is we have not seen the Indiana Pacers win a game 3 yet, but we've also not seen them in a spot where they haven't been up 2-0 in any series. The Pacers have not lost consecutive games yet in this postseason, and we are still in a spot when this team is off of a loss. They have scored 125-plus points in the following game every time. If I end up backing Indiana, it'll be on a team total at that 112.5. If you've been able to pick your spots on this Pacers team total, it's been absolutely fantastic as far as the series go. We did see a game. We did see the game get over in the final moments, which was a treat for those who did have the over in that game. I think this is going to be more of an over series than an under series, but I wonder about OKC's offense traveling a little bit when, again, you look through the postseason performances where instead of a full over, this could, which is what I played in game 2, you might prefer to attack this from a Pacer team total directly, even though it was the OKC team total that got there again in that most recent game. Series price right now for OKC, minus 550. So evened up at a game apiece. Lesser number than we saw coming into the series. We'll see what things hold on Wednesday, but we get back to the ice after this break, live with you on Game Time Decisions.
it'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do. But the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent a message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday night, Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Game Time Decisions is live on a Monday night. Let's get right to it. Jared Hockman, one of my favorites to talk really sports with in general. We'll do a little baseball with the time that remains, but I want to get right to the ice, Jared. We're evened up through 2. We've played 3 overtime periods already in this series. How do you feel after the first 2 games of the Stanley Cup rematch?
Well, Kevin, I feel like we don't have enough coffee for all of us together because we got to get ready for this to go long. But I mean, this has been a coin flip series. When you go to overtime twice or double overtime in game 2, these teams are evenly matched. You're seeing that Edmonton's depth is really kind of risen up compared to last year. And, you know, advanced analytics favored the Oilers in game 1 and 2 in terms of expected goals. So Bobrovsky's done enough to kind of keep the Panthers in there. I know they're on the road now, but you look at Edmonton, they've won 6 of the last 7 postseason games as well. Like, again, I see this one basically as a 50-50 game, and it could go either way. I understand Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, still game time. He's going to take pregame rushes. That'll be a big loss if he doesn't play. But the Oilers still have the depth, and they have 97 and 29. And when you have those 2 guys, you have a chance to win any game you're part of.
Do you feel that Edmonton should feel like you would agree that there's a lot? How much more momentum does Florida have right now? Because I feel like it's a lot. The fact that they stole home ice in double overtime, I feel like they really swung this series. I'm almost surprised they're not bigger series favorites right now than the minus 118-ish number we're seeing.
Yeah, Kevin, it's always a discussion, right? Is what does an overtime game do there? I'm kind of hoping that people are looking at for Edmonton. You know, Florida lost game 1 in overtime. They bounced back, but you're right. That was in Edmonton. We're really going to see, this game's really going to decide a lot of how we view the rest of this series. If Florida comes out and just stomps them, uses the matchups and railroads them, you're going to hear a very, very different narrative. If Edmonton finds a way to keep this close, even if they lose, I think we're still going to have those discussions going forward of 50-50 coin flip each time.
So tell me a little bit, where are you maybe finding some value then for game 3 with Florida favored on their home ice?
I got to say, I like the Oilers. I've taken the Oilers with the plus money. I mean, you said it's a coin flip. The Oilers have been playing well on the road. And I'm just, you know, again, McDavid and Draisaitl, they are the 2 best players in the world, arguably. Sorry, Nathan McKinnon fans. But it's going to, when you've got them, you've got a shot. And when you've got plus money, it's been this tight. I'm going to go with Edmonton. I've also got, Kevin, a trio of point props that I'm kind of looking at. I'm going to throw them at you in rapid fire here. So I'm looking at Corey Perry from the Oilers at plus 105. Brad Marchand at -105, and Draisaitl for 2+ points at +125. Listen, Perry scored in 4 straight. He's skating with McDavid and on that top power play. And he's that guy that goes to the dirty areas. That's where you get success in the playoffs, and Corey Perry's not afraid to get there. You look at Marchand, listen, he continues to deliver in the biggest moments. He's got points in 4, 5, and 17 of 20 playoff games for the Panthers out of a third-line role. And then Draisaitl, you and I were talking a little bit off air before this. Him and McDavid are borderline unstoppable. They kind of work in lockstep. McDavid's 30 cents shorter for 2+ points. So I'm going to go with Draisaitl at the plus money. Got 2+ points in 4 straight and 5 last 7. So I think they're all going to be a big part in what should be another exciting game tonight.
Yeah, I remain fascinated, Jared, in this Conn Smythe race where Leon is 2 total points back overall in this postseason from McDavid, but does have 4 more goals. Obviously, the game winner in game number 1. I also have this take. I don't know if you'll think this is crazy. I think McDavid winning it last year in a loss opens it up more for Leon because voters won't feel like, we have to give McDavid this to show everyone how great he was. What he did last year, we all knew regardless, but I think McDavid being the current holder of that crown, right? I think it opens it up for Leon a little bit more.
I don't think that's crazy at all. I think, narratives play a big part of this. And yes, no one's saying that Connor McDavid isn't the best player in the planet in this series. But like I said, if Leon manages to score another big goal or two, has another game-winning goal, maybe he has that signature Stanley Cup playoffs moment, there's definitely a reason to believe that he can kind of sway the narrative and kind of pull it to himself, especially considering he's going to probably finish with almost as many points as McDavid. He's going to have the stats to show it. So it's just going to be a matter of, does he do something that kind of really says, we've got to give it to Leon this time, because like what he did, he carried this team. Maybe it's a game from McDavid when he doesn't score as much, but there are ways for Leon to do it, and he is talented enough. So there is definitely some value there in looking that way.
Question for you before we get to the baseball quickly, Jared, just from the Florida side of that award, do you have a strong lean on who the guy will be if they do end up winning the Cup?
No, I liked Sam Bennett originally, but his number has gone from like +3,000 to like +400. The narrative play is Brad Marchand. He's been scoring a lot there too. But, I think it can go any number of ways. I think for Florida, it's really going to depend how the next, 3 to 5 games of this series goes, and whoever kind of takes the lead there. So anyone is on the board for the Panthers right now.
All right, let's get to some baseball here. We'll start this off with Toronto and St. Louis. Palante is going to go for the Cards here against Barrios, who's had himself a solid season all in all for the Blue Jays here. Where'd you find some value in this one?
Yeah, Kevin, I got some value with one of the hot Blue Jays on these suddenly hot-hitting Blue Jays. I'm going to go with Alejandro Kirk to get an RBI at +160. Listen, he's got a hit and an RBI in 7 of his last 8 games. He's in the cleanup spot tonight, so he's got Bo Bichette, Vlad, and he also hot Addison Barger ahead of him. And he's going against Andre Palante, who's not been particularly great. His ERA is almost a 5. He's led 3+ runs in 7 of his last 9. He also gives up a lot of hits and a lot of walks. So there should be some chances for Kirk to get an at-bat or two with runners on, and I think he's going to be able to deliver there at a nice price.
Dodgers-Padres, I'm really excited for this one tonight. I think that Pivetta is being a little bit slighted on this line here. I played Padres money line. What'd you play in this one?
Kevin, it's funny. I looked at playing the Padres money line too. I thought about it. In fact, I'm going to go on a total here. I'm going to go with the first 5 innings under 4.5. The total ticked up. It was 8, gone to 8.5 now. I'm still fine with this. And the way I look at it is Dustin May for the Dodgers. He hasn't been dominant, but he's allowed 2 runs or fewer in 3 of his last 5 outings. And Pivetta's been absolutely lights out at home. He's got a 1.69 ERA. But what really sails it for me is, like I said, Pivetta's great. He's not getting the respect. But for May, San Diego's dead last in runs scored and batting average versus righties over the last 3 weeks. So I don't see them generating a lot against Dustin May. Pivetta just needs to do enough to not give up a ton of runs. So I think we're going to see a low-scoring start, but it should be a great contest down to the finish.
All right, lastly, some love for Ketel Marte and the D-backs tonight.
Absolutely. Marte, 2+ total bases at +120. He is the second highest OPS against righties in baseball this year, only behind some guy named Judge. And he's got 2+ total bases in 3 of his last 5. Listen, and he's facing Emerson Hancock, who is a fastball, sinker, changeup guy. Marte crushes all kinds of fastballs. We're back in Arizona, so good hitting conditions. So looking at Ketel Marte to continue slugging, because like you said, we have Ketel Marte love here.
Look, if you are second in any category but judges first, you are leading that category. Because that's just, I don't know, man. This dude hits home runs. They're not surprising at all, ever now. And he's not even having his best power season. What a treat that's been. Jared, look, man, we appreciate it. As always, best of luck with the action tonight.
Absolutely. Say to you, good luck, and hopefully have a great game 3.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Hopefully, well, depending on your action and mine, no overtime. No thanks. Don't need it. Let's know when it's time to go to bed, all right? We don't need to be figuring out this little guessing game here. Let's button this thing up. By the way, for the college baseball crowd, and I didn't think I was going to do this, but I am. Murray State, first batter, home run. Next batter, filthy strikeout by Big 1-2 on the bump for Duke. Buddy over in, what's that, left field? Is that how that works? Right field? All right, yeah, that scholarship's getting revoked here. We need to I'm going to get Duke live. I'm telling you that right now. Let's get in the mix.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid.
We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune in to Game Time Decisions weekdays on SportsGrid.
The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
A little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Did you know sportsbooks tend to draw up tighter bet lines for events that get even more bettors, like championship games or major matchups? My tip, try betting on less popular sports. You might have a better shot at beating those odds. Now, go get lucky. See you in Las Vegas. Let's get lucky.
All right, we're back right here on SportsGrid. I got to tell you, folks, I am legitimately invested in this Duke Murray State game. The bases are juiced right now. Big 1-2 for Duke, struggling. I don't know. We're seeing plus 114 on the Blue Devils. I'm interested, but maybe it's better off I don't. Let's talk some hockey. Let's talk with Joe Madden. Joe, it's great to see you on a Monday night as we get set for Game 3, and I just need to start with this. Are you betting this game to go to overtime?
No, I'm not. Tonight is the one night I don't think we go to overtime. Double overtime, a last game, overtime in the first. I know it's so easy to jump on that plus money with the overtime, but Kevin, I don't see it coming tonight.
Perfect. Good. Because I used it as a very chalky leg in a parlay, Joe, because I refuse to believe we're getting 3 straight games of overtime hockey to start the Stanley Cup final. Are you betting a side in this game? Do you feel strong about Florida or Edmonton in this spot?
You know, I looked at Florida in the first period. I think that is the strongest suit to jump in on them. But ultimately, at the end of the day, we split in Edmonton. I think we split here in Florida as well. So Florida is able to win this. I will be coming in on Edmonton for the next game. And if Edmonton somehow pulls it off tonight, I don't think they will, Kevin. I really do think Florida finds a way in this one. And I'm looking for that to get off to a hot start because we look at the Florida Panthers, we look at that home crowd behind them, and we look at how strong Paul Maurice is at making those adjustments. We know that second period's been a strong suit for Florida, but at home first period, I think they come out and they go up by a goal. Now, could this be that fast start that we've seen that has pushed these games ultimately over because of those goals in that first? It could be, but I do think if we get one goal, it's by Florida. If we get a 2-1 style game, it's still by Florida up by those two. So I'll lay the puck line in the first period with the Florida Panthers laying that half a goal at a plus 160.
Do you think that this is another higher scoring game tonight, Joe? Because it's we've had a spot now. Oh, exactly 6 goals. Now that's a good time. That's a good time. Joe, I love what you're bringing to the table here. I agree with you. I think this game is under. I think someone finally wins by 2. I agree with what I'm seeing here.
Oh, I love that you agree with it, Kevin, because I really do think this is a game plan. And I think we're going to sweat this one out. This is going to be a 3-2 game. We're going to see one of these teams pulling their goaltender, pushing to get that goal, to push it to overtime. And we're going to come so close. But I do think we'll see that empty netter. So I had to play around with it. I had to look at this one to stay under the 6.5. The problem is the books think it's going to stay under the 6.5. I don't want to lay minus 128. So what I did is I looked at the exact 6 goals because I do believe this would be a 4-2 game. The exact 6 goals coming in at plus 650. And then I kind of took a half a unit on the 4-2 for either side. So the 4-2 for the Florida Panthers in the win at plus 1900 and the 4-2 for Edmonton for the win at plus 2300. Worst case situation, we will stay under the 6.5. This will be a 3-2 as the empty netter just cruises by and misses, but I don't think so. I think we'll see one of these teams cover that puck line. I expect it to be Florida, but I think we're safer putting a half unit on that 4-2 on both sides.
Yeah, I was thinking of playing Edmonton minus on the puck line and Florida on the puck line. Just, one of these teams figure this out. I think for me, as I get, as we get closer to this starting, I do feel good about Florida in this spot. I don't know if I'm overreacting, Joe, but man, I think Edmonton missed a huge opportunity losing game 2 at home, double overtime. It feels devastating.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, Kevin, but I'm not worried about the Edmonton Oilers. I still think they're able to hoist the cup at the end of the finals here, but I think it goes all the way to 7. We knew the Florida Panthers would be able to make that push to be able to answer back, and it did come in to play that Skinner just let in that weaker goal by Brad Marchand. But you look at the game play out there by both of these teams. Both of those teams should have been holding their head high after that game in game 2. I don't think you have to start panicking yet if you're an Edmonton Oilers fan, because I do think we get the split here in Florida, and this returns for game 5 in Edmonton, 2-2 apiece. Now, Florida is able to win the next 2. We know the Edmonton Oilers still can get their backs up against a wall, face adversity, and then take it, win game 5, win game 6, and then push it all the way to game 7. So Edmonton's not going to be out of this one until they're out of this one. You look at those third periods, those pushes they're able to do to push these games to OT, and I'm not stressed about this team at all. So I don't think they missed a huge opportunity. Would they love to be rolling into Florida up 2-0? They absolutely would, but you look at the Florida Panthers. This is a stellar team on the road. They're okay at home as well. Bobrovsky's been standing tall behind the pipes, and I do think we're going to see the split here.
Yeah, I think that is, if you are Edmonton, all you can ask for. And it's a team that is definitely comfortable playing close. I think my worry is it feels like Florida is way more likely right now to extend a game, right? Joe, were there any player props we didn't get to that you like going into tonight's matchup?
Yeah, I think you have to be a little cautious with the player props today. I had a lot of series bets coming into this, but there's been a lot of talk around Barkov and how Barkov is yet to get those points up on the board. I do think here the Florida Panthers with last change, we're going to see more out of Barkov, even though his main assignment out there is to really keep Connor McDavid off the scoreboard. So he's all over Connor McDavid. I think when you start looking at the depth here is where you're going to get your better opportunities to make some plus money. Seth Jones there for the Florida Panthers, 3/4 points coming in at plus 142, which I think is a great way to look. And you also look at the Florida Panthers on that second power play unit. That's where you're starting to see the conversion. Sam Bennett and Evan Rodriguez, I do think definitely worth a look, and Brad Marchand for those power play points. And then when you look at the Edmonton Oilers, that top line, that top power play is really connecting so nice and solid, but you've got to look at the players like Corey Perry, Evan Bouchard for their points because you're going to get more value. Kevin, ultimately at the end of the day, this one is going to be a roller coaster of emotions in this game. I think the live betting on the underdog with the plus money is where you want to go as it flips back and forth.
Yeah, I can't tell if I feel more confident about Florida or the under, though my read on it, my bets certainly suggest the under, because Edmonton has done a very good job in this postseason where it's like, ooh, this is a tough spot. And then they win 3-0. You're like, I don't even know who this team is anymore. Joe, we appreciate it as always. Best of luck, of course, on the ice tonight. Should be a fantastic game number 3 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll update you on Duke Murray State after the break.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome to the lock-in portion of our program, because now it's all happening, all right? I legitimately care about Duke Murray State because I want to get in on Duke. First batter walk. Murray State pitcher's on blow-up watch, even more than the Duke pitcher was. Also, Miami-Pittsburgh finally started. Oh, that's going to get through. Oh, this is going to be trouble. This Duke team might score 600 runs in this inning. Our eyes are there, okay? You got to root in the Nerfy for Pittsburgh, Miami. I'll be honest with you, folks. Show's going to tilt on that result. fellas in the back, you worry about him if a loss like that comes in. Like, I'll call it like I see it. I love the weather delay. That bought us an extra 40 minutes of vibes that we weren't expecting to have in the back pocket, guaranteed. Now, we'd love a winner. But Xavier Edwards got right underway with a single. Duke's up to minus 220 on the money line with 2 on and nobody out. I mean, are they just going to score 1,000 runs in this game? 19.5 is your live total. That's big time. That's no joke. Can I get an update on what these Duke college baseball games have been looking like? That would be the interesting one to see. We've got, I believe, a strikeout. So there you go. Man down. 1 out. That's 1. Tick, 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 tick. Oh, no. This is going to get interesting, folks. All right. It looks like maybe the guy was out. So let's just, all right, everyone just deep breath, deep breath, deep breath. Other updates. 2-0 Reds on the Guardians. We like that. Ellie De La Cruz does have a hit. So that's good. 2-0 right now. Still 1-0 Cubs. The Phillies are out hitting them. But look, you got to actually piece this thing together. Okay. Nerfy comes in if you played it. Red Sox Rays. We are still waiting for AB1 for Roman Anthony. Ballpark's going to go nuts. Red Sox fans have been waiting for this kid. They're going to be excited. That's going to be if you can, like, that's certainly worth getting on your TV. Crowd's going to go nuts for that one. I'm excited to see that play out. And it's also just, where we are right now within. I know I say Boston doesn't have their eyes towards the postseason a ton, but there was a moment where they did. I think coming into the season, they were hopeful. They found themselves hitting a rough patch where, that optimism is not flooding the locker room right now. It's not flooding the fan base. It's not flooding their backers. But you win 2 out of 3 against the Yanks. You come home for 6 straight against the division before a West Coast trip. You gotta pocket some here, right? You have to if you're the Red Sox. We'll see if they're going to be able to do that. We'll see what the first Roman Anthony AB does. Guardians grab 1 back. What's that about? Naylor gets driven in by Martinez. Other baseball picks in case you're just tuning in. Chris Sale to record a win. That's plus 110. Let me see if I can get you an updated number. See if that's moved at all. Minus 105 now. So got the best of the number. Look, I'd much rather bet Sale to record a win than that Atlanta Braves money line. I understand it gives you more outs, but at minus 175 on the road, it's not for me for Atlanta. Even if, obviously, I think that's going to win in order to cash the sell price there. And then we have the money line, a little bit big money line day for me in the Major League Baseball board. Give me Pivetta and the Padres there at a plus 104 price. I think that this team should be favored in this game. Pretty simple. They've got the better pitcher. They're at home against a team that's been 500 this year on the road. I really like this spot for them. And then the ice snap, we talked about it. First period, over half a goal. Full game, under 7.5. And then no overtime. I was considering betting the no overtime straight. But, if I was able to access a more legitimate number, because DK is not offering the no. So that was frustrating because you're getting like a minus 500 on FanDuel, which was a little bit frustrating because the yes on DK is 280. So the no would be, minus 330 or so range. So that would have been interesting. Out of the first, all of a sudden, out of the first, strike him out, throw him out. Augustine Ramirez pops out. Oh no. Here we go. It's up to the Marlins now. We'll root it in the whole way with you here on a Monday night on Game Time Decisions.
it'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do. But the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that ring. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 18.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Live right here on SportsGrid. It's great to have you. And Duke gets one back only. It's 2-1. Total 17.5 one spot, 19.5 another. Minus 180 money line in one spot, minus 146 in another. Run line's 1.5 either way you slice it. That's where we're at in the college baseball world. Guardians have tied it up. They're looking for more. Miley's got to work out of trouble now, or that's going to get dangerous. First man down. O'Neal Cruz strikes out for Pittsburgh. So that's, again, where everything is. I just wanted to circle back on an NBA thing quickly from that opening game and when we try and figure out, what things are going to look like in game number 3. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is continuing to have this postseason where what more could you want, right? In round number 1, a slow start for him, but a really good close in that series, 31 in game 3, 38 in game number 4. A battle in 7 games against many people's best player in the world, 30-plus points in the final 3 games of that series, the 35 points in the closeout game, number 7. And you then get to the series against Minnesota, 30-plus in 4 of the 5 games, 40 on the road in the pivotal 2-point victory that really kind of sealed the series. And now here we are in the NBA Finals, 38 points in game number 1, 34 points in game number 2, and it's continuously checking every single box when we talk about best player in the world. And that's exactly what Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is bringing to the table. What I think is really interesting, though, is Shai has actually had a game under 20 in every round. And is there going to be that let-up spot at any point from Shai? Here were his thoughts following the Thunder evening up the series.
I just wondered in these 2 games what you've learned about what it sort of takes to operate with a 10 to 20-point lead against Indiana and what you felt maybe was different about the middle quarters tonight than the other night.
You have to stay focused on the task at hand. Now, whatever that may be for your team and how you want to attack them or go about the game plan, but you have to lock in and stay focused. And even tonight, we've had some moments of slippage. Now, you're not going to be perfect out there, but it goes without saying, like, to make it this far into the season, it's going to take supreme level of focus to reach the ultimate goal. And they're a display of that to the highest form. Like, they play a full 48 minutes, and you can't just throw the first punch. You got to try to throw all the punches all night. And yeah, that's what we did. We threw enough punches tonight to get a W.
I think for Shea, that comment on focus, right? So in his last 10 games in this postseason run, he has scored 30-plus points. The one game he did not was a 14-point performance in Game 3 at Minnesota, where they lost by 42. What fascinates me is you have these two teams now that are, again, in what feels like unique spots. So, again, for the Pacers, it's the first time they've not been up 2-0 in a series. They've lost Game 3 in every series, but to some degree, you almost could chalk that up to it was the Zag game. The other team's desperation levels were significantly higher. For OKC, they have had kind of a similar start to a round when you think about what happened against Denver, right? Lose game 1 in outrageous fashion. Roll in game number 2. They lost game 3 to Denver. They lost it in overtime, but they lost that basketball game. But more so, that 2-0 series lead they had against Minnesota, and that's why I bring up the Shai Gilgeous-Alexander performance where he scored 14 points. The whole OKC team largely no-showed the game. You got an unreal effort out of Minnesota, obviously, but it was a 20-point Timberwolf lead at the end of the first quarter. Minnesota won every single quarter in that basketball game. They just kept pouring it on. And Edwards finished a plus 36 in that matchup. They had 6 guys finish plus 23 or better on Minnesota. Not a single player outside of 10 Dylan Jones minutes. Shout out to TCU legend. I believe TCU legend Dylan Jones. No, Weber State, excuse me. Colors correct, school wrong. But nevertheless, was the only player who had a plus-minus that was in the positive range. You had 3 different starters in that game for OKC that were minus 30. You're trying to find the beats of this series, right? And game number 1 was true to who both teams were, right? You saw the flashes of Thunder dominance, but that Pacers' ability to just snag one ultimately won the day. The Thunder being in control in game number 2, absolutely on brand for who they are. But now if you're the Thunder, you're looking to take a 2-1 series lead. They have not been dominant in any, again, by any measure on the road yet. The Pacers have not been in a spot where, hey, you know, we're about to be down 2-1. They've not trailed yet in a series. In fact, they have not been even in a series outside of 0-0. That's like the comfort level that you've seen from the Pacers is fascinating, but the fact that you've not had a desperation mode from Indiana. There's one spot I would argue we probably saw desperate Indiana. And I think people would agree, game 4 against the Cavs. Because you take the first 2 on the road, but they win game 3 in your building. They're a 64-win team. They're series favorites. They've got Garland back, Mobley back. They got their guys back. And that game, at half, 80-39. It does feel to me that the Pacers are not only going to win one of these games, they may win it by margin. They may actually get out there and roll. You're getting plus 540 for the Pacers to win by double digits tomorrow. You know, we talk. Some people say, "I'll play moneyline Pacers both game. I'll be able to clip one." You want to elevate that. Give yourself a bigger profit margin. You can risk a little bit less. I think that becomes interesting. I think that becomes tempting for anyone who is interested in backing the Pacers, extending this series beyond. You know, we've heard a lot of people mention the 2001 finals. AI and his Sixers team go in against the Laker group that they have no chance against. AI brilliant in game one. Shaq unstoppable as always. Lakers championship, 4-1. That's it. They never look back. I think that is going to become the predominant conversation if you see a convincing OKC win on the road in game 3. I still, again, maintain one of these games you're going to see Pacers. But it also is not just a question then on, you know, will OKC be focused? Will Shea be focused, right? When we think about who then steps up for the Pacers and how do the Pacers step up, a lot of people are going to believe that's going to start with Tyrese Halliburton. Understandably, Tyrese is the one receiving the top 10 praise and credit and placement. Pascal Siakam has been atrocious to start this series. Pascal Siakam sitting a minus 25 through these 2 games. 3 of 11 in the last game, 15 points. Pascal for 20 in game number 3 becomes a circle item for me as we get closer and closer to that one. Quick break, right back here. It's a Monday night on Game Time Decisions.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face. And after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game Time Decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The 2 guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rim. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, Game Time Decisions, folks. We're incredibly in the mix with you. The Nerfy did come in if you were rooting in Casino, Chris, and Pirates, Marlins, and then Lopez goes deep in the top of the second, which is exactly what you want to see. Consig's in the mix here. Consig, let me just let's get right to it.
All right.
It's all Padres tonight. Couldn't agree more. Come on, tell me you're all Padre up tonight. Pavetta should be a favorite in this game.
Can't believe he's not. Be perfectly honest. Like there's certain numbers that you see, especially when you see them overnight, and you go, yeah, that'll probably flip, or that's a little bit light. You know, I saw that last night with the Padres and thought the same exact thing. I got it right here, Kevin. I mean, you want Pivetta 1-1 with a 1.78 ERA in 5 career starts versus the Dodgers. That's 25 and a third. He's only given up 5 earned. Let's go Pivetta. He's going to pitch well tonight. Let's
I
go.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think because we've also seen the Dodgers numbers not be. They are not being booked like a 110 win team, and they shouldn't be booked like a 110 win team. So I was a little surprised to see this number. We'll get back to the baseball in a minute, Dave. Talk to me on the ice tonight. Have you heard at all from friends out there? If this game goes to overtime, is that a liability for the books?
Yeah.
It is, right?
Yeah,
I figured that.
Yeah. I mean, you get one to start, okay. They follow it up with the next game, and you're like, okay, oh no, like really? So yeah, I mean, the price came down a little bit, right? It's not like rinse and repeat where you put up the same price. I saw a couple books put less than the 3-1 that it usually is. Yeah, nobody in a book wants to see it go to overtime, but everybody watching, most likely, or unless you really don't enjoy the game or the sweat, you don't want to see overtime. A lot of people do. Kevin, this hockey's been great. I mean, I know guys like Donnie Rightside are not up watching it. They should find a way to stay awake. Seriously, this has been elite level stuff. Between this, the French Open, we've had some monster sporting events that I think are worthwhile of watching and enjoying for the sport that they are.
Yeah, I think that is very well said, sir. And I think that the hockey's delivered. I hope I won't come off as a hockey hater, though, when I show you the Ice Snap Parlay. Dave, I think you're going to like this one.
Oh.
I think you're going to like this one.
Where's my glasses? Let me get my glasses.
Ready?
Hold on.
This is right up your alley, Dave, okay?
Let's see what you got. Yeah.
Over first period, half a goal. Full game under the 7.5. No overtime.
I don't know what loses. Let's go lay down and take an ice snap. I like that.
You like that?
I like that.
You like
yeah,
that?
I don't think we get overtime again. I mean, you'd be treated to an unbelievable ending if you did get overtime. I don't think you do. Florida scores first in the first period. I like that. So we'll get a goal in the first period. And I like what you did with the total. Under the 7.5, the 7.5 is a key number. Seven's working for you, obviously. 4-3.
Yeah.
Sound familiar? Yeah. So, wow. All right. I mean, I've heard of taking a dirt nap, but never an ice nap.
That's right.
Got it. Yeah, I like it.
What do you what my thoughts in this game are Florida and under. What are your thoughts?
Same. I said before game 2, I don't know if I said it actually on here with you. I know I said it with Wetzel on In Game Live for sure on Friday. No matter what happened in game 2, Florida was going to come here and win game 3. And them winning game 2 in double overtime kind of added a little spice to that for me. I think they win, and I think now with it happening multiple times, they're not going to allow an empty net goal with less than a minute left to tie. So I anticipate them actually getting a 2-goal lead at some point and holding on to it in regulation. So that's where I'm at. We'll see.
I'm telling you, I thought going into the series, I thought Edmonton. But I don't know if I've believed in this team all postseason. Just I think back to my perception, my wagers and whatnot. So maybe I'm falling for the same trap. I really think that was a nightmare for them to lose that game. And I look at how these first 2 games have played out. They've needed these awesome third periods just to force overtime. It feels like Florida is a good start away from winning one of these games by 3 or 4 goals.
Oh, I said it earlier today to Peralt on BVB. I said this game 100% would not surprise me if it's 4-1 or 5-1 Florida. I feel like that's the way they could smother and lock down Edmonton with a multiple goal lead with enough time to then just play smart. They can't play conservative, though, because you see what Edmonton does. And they That's what's different about Edmonton this year. They are so deep, multiple lines can keep coming at you. So I don't know, K-Dub. We're thinking alike. Sometimes that's been really good for me and you and the listeners, the viewers. Sometimes not so much. I think tonight it'll be a good one.
Yeah, look, I could be wrong. I don't have a Florida money line ticket right now. I just, I don't like what I've seen. And by the way, folks, this is kind of from an afar evaluation. I'm not, we're not faking anything here. Maybe people are watching this feeling, and they love what they see from Edmonton. That's fine. But game flow, I've seen more encouraging box scores. I think that's fair to say. Dave, quickly, you following this college baseball, Duke Murray State right now?
I had it on at the beginning. I'm not going to lie. I turned it off and have not watched it since. I figured we'd have a guy, that works on the show here,
right?
That might know a little something. Why? Over? Yeah. Over the total?
I don't know. They're kind of settling in. When do you jump in on this dude? Here's the thing. We've seen games like this. Murray State, they're a home run away from really putting some fear into Blue Devil Nation. You can feel this is a tense game. I'm in on this college baseball game. I don't know about all of them. I'm in on this one. We'll do some questions. We'll get you out of here next.
It'll be interesting to see what the Knicks do, but the Knicks are at a point now where they don't have to blow it up. They may still do so, and they have a right to do so, but with trading the 4 first-round picks and the pick swap for Mikal Bridges, the Knicks don't have a lot of room in regards to actual picks to throw at people.
Betting above the rim, only on SportsGrid.
Plenty of takeaways from Yankees-Dodgers where LA sent the message on Saturday, and the only way the Yankees could salvage it was somehow beating Yamamoto, and they did.
You're staring a sweep in the face, and after losing the World Series, knowing what the opponent is, you know what the narrative would have been on Sunday Night Monday. Oh, Yankees get swept by the Dodgers.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
The two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What? How do you do this one? Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The early line, only on SportsGrid. The game is on. The stakes are high. But the action isn't just on the field.
He's rearranging that rip. Get it inside!
SportsGrid's in-game live. Your ultimate second screen experience.
Just a little flyer, couple of 15.5-point live line.
Every prop, every play, every day.
Anything can happen. That's complete chaos.
It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, game time decisions with you here on a Monday night where the main event is undoubtedly the Stanley Cup final matchup between Edmonton and Florida. I want you to take a listen to Leon Draisaitl following the Game 2 loss, and I'll tell you what stood out to me the most from him answering a couple of questions following that loss.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we got to look on the other side, and it's a breakaway. It squeaks through. Yeah.
That's a grind of a game. Maybe can you compare it to the first one in terms of just the tightness of it overall and how close it seems?
Yeah, I mean, every game is tight at this time of year. Two really good teams. So, yeah, it's never going to be easy. So, regroup and get ready for game 3.
What are you seeing in that second period, Leon? Because it's the second time. They seem the long change seems to give you guys problems, especially if you get him in your own end there.
Yeah, I think we just lost our legs a little bit. Weren't as quick to recover pucks, and they're going to have their push, of course. So, something to look at.
When you lose a game like this, it's such an emotional high and low. I guess you got 2 days to recover. I guess is that a good thing? I guess.
Yeah, I mean, this time of year, it's you gotta move on. There's no time, and thinking about it too long. Obviously, it stings right now, but yeah, we have to move on.
So for me, and we still have Dave Sharapan with us here. In general, look totally unfazed. Rightfully so. They were down 3-0 last year and forced the Game 7, so being 1-1, well, awesome, I think, right, if you're Edmonton.
Mm-hmm.
Saying they lost their legs a little bit, is this where the depth that has been so good for Edmonton, Dave, in this postseason, maybe not as reliable as Florida's, though, now that we're here, does that worry you at all? From just Leon saying maybe we lost our legs a little bit as that game went on?
Very, very little.
Okay.
I mean, when you see Leon, he still got that nice cut across his nose. Sure. He looked completely unfazed. Him and McDavid, those guys are going to be fine. You have to – sometimes you're trying to read into stuff. I think you could be reading into stuff a little bit if you're looking for that. But I think Edmonton will be okay. And I just don't think they can get down multiple goals like tonight. It's vital to them. At home, they could control the line changes, last change, and everything else. Tonight, Florida's setting the matchups, and, they're going to get the best effort from the defensive pairings against McDavid and Draisaitl.
I think it's fascinating. I think it's been a really fun series. Again, I think that this Edmonton run, though, has been filled with surprises. And what I mean by that is Vegas gets game number 3. They win the next 2 games in shutout fashion.
Yeah. Yep.
Dallas gets game number 1.
Yeah.
They win the next 3 games, giving up a combined 2 goals.
Yep.
So that is, again, that is why I'm an under guy tonight more than a Florida guy. Because, incredibly, we never said this last year when we were talking about Edmonton. If Edmonton's going to do it, for some reason, they're winning this game 2-1, 3-1 tonight. They're not winning this game 6-4. It's just not how this postseason has looked. Consig, great to have you in-game live tonight. Can't miss with a couple of hockey guys delivering you the goods for what should be a great one. And they'll be locked in on the baseball. Maybe even locked in on the college baseball. Duke ties it up 2 apiece now in the bottom of the 3rd. Does that game open up ever? I don't know. That's probably the last I'll remember it. Someone will have to text me tomorrow and let me know how that game finished. Quickly, just any of the action that we rocked here today, anything that's not underway. Yarnell's best bet, by the way, Padres team total over. That's not started yet, so you can get involved there. Moonshot style. Kofsky goes with Ryan Hart and Kachuk to score. That's 7-1. AJ on Yusei Kikuchi for 8 Ks. That's 3-1. Yarnese. Madness. 46-1. Panthers to win the NFC. That's an all vibes play. That's outrageous, man. We're early. No, I hear some things in the back, and I don't like what I'm hearing. I'm about to strike that from the record. For myself, that eye snap. Come on, one more time, folks. First period, 1 goal. Full game, under the 7.5. No overtime. I think we can all agree. In-game live is next. Stanley Cup final action on SportsGrid.